Hey, my friends. Welcome to episode 54 of the Nourish and Strengthen podcast. Today, I wanted to answer a few of your questions. So, I put out a question box. I have 4 awesome questions here. We're going to be diving into combo exercises and how I feel about those, along with I'm going to add my little thoughts on, the typical Instagram swipe workouts that you see out there. We're going to talk about thyroid and what to do when you have symptoms of thyroid issues, but your blood work looks quote unquote normal. We're talking about weight loss on high calories and some quick and easy grab and go breakfast ideas. So that's kind of our little outline here. Let's go ahead and just jump on in. So the first question I got was, are combo exercises bad? Now, I don't really like the words like bad and good because everything is goal and person dependent, okay? So, let me answer that question. Assuming your goal is either something with body recomposition. So maybe that is weight loss. Okay, weight loss is a goal surrounding body recomposition. Maybe that is muscle building. Either of those goals, like if you say I want to look more toned, that to me is saying you want to be leaner, which almost always comes with fat loss. Okay. Really, it always comes in fat loss. I guess you could put on so much muscle that you get leaner by just adding muscle, but that process is going to be so incredibly slow that for 99.999% of the population, it's going to require some fat loss. Okay. So if that's your goal, which I think is most people listening here, then these combo exercises are not ideal. And let me talk about why. So, if you're wondering what I mean by combo exercises, I'm meaning a lot of the creative stuff that you see on Instagram. And I'll be honest, I do them sometimes, but I don't use them for hypertrophy. When I use them, it's more at the end of a workout, for different kind of reasons. But for example, like a squat to an overhead press or a lunge and a bicep curl, if you're at a gym, if you're at home and you don't have heavier weights, these exercises might be a little bit more appropriate if your goal is to just like get your heart rate up. But if you're at a gym and you have heavy enough weights to challenge each of those muscles individually, then that's ideal. Okay, so let's talk about this, squat and overhead press combo. Chances are, I'm willing to bet lots of money that you can squat more than you can overhead press. Okay. I don't think I've met anyone who can overhead press more than they can squat. Okay. So, what that's doing is your limiting factor, your limiting movement is that overhead press. So, you're not going as heavy as you could in your squat because you're pressing at the same time, right? Let's take a lunge and a bicep curl, for example. Most people can lunge a lot more than they can curl. I mean, you've got big muscles in your lower body, your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, all these muscles working together in these compound lower body movements are big, strong muscles. Okay. Even if you're a newbie to the gym, okay, if you're a newbie to lifting, still your lower body is going to be stronger than your biceps or your shoulders. Okay. So that makes sense that if you're trying to combine these movements, one of them is going to be limiting the other one. Okay, no matter what, one of them will be limiting the other one. So you're going to see the best results and progress in strength, muscle building, fat loss if you are lifting to your true potential for each of those movements. Okay, now let's kind of switch the goals here. Let's say your goal is to boost your cardiovascular endurance, or let's say your goal is just to get more fit, right? Maybe you want to feel stronger, feel like you can do maybe not feel stronger, but just feel more cardiovascularly fit. That is a good situation where you might work combination moves into your workouts. They're going to get your heart rate up higher, okay, which for that goal is appropriate for the goal of becoming more cardiovascularly fit, all right? If you are just trying to move and enjoy your workouts and you love those, then go for it. If it makes it feel fun to you, keeps you working out, I am all for it. But I just, the question was had, are combo exercises bad? If your goal is building muscle, is fat loss, then they are not the most optimal choice. But if you love them, then leave them in. Okay. I am not the type that's like, no, you can't do this. You only have to choose the most optimal exercises, because I am a big believer that we need to love our workouts and we need to have fun doing them. And, some repetition is normal. Okay, let me kind of go into these swipe workouts. So these swipe workouts are, if you go to someone's page, and I've posted them before too, okay, and it's either a reel of a workout idea, or it's like a swipe, file where it's like the one exercise you swipe, you see the next exercise, right? So most of the time, not all the time, okay, I don't feel like I do this really, but most of the time, people whose pages are built on sharing workouts, they have to get super creative. They have to get really creative in their movements, in what they're showing you. Otherwise, it would be super boring. And you guys, I can almost promise you that most of these influencers you're seeing did not build the body that they have by working out as creatively as they're showing you on Instagram. Chances are they were sticking to the basics of your squats, your deadlifts, your presses, your rows, your pull downs. You know, the basics is what gets you the body you're going for. Okay. When you get super, super creative with the movements, your strength is going to go down. You're not going to build muscle. You're not going to see the results that you are looking for. Now, caveat. Let's say most of the time you are sticking to those basics, but you're like, I just need something to mix it up every once in a while. Maybe one fun workout a week. Maybe every couple months, I want to take a break from my typical program and do something like that. That's totally fine, in my opinion. But I wouldn't rely on these Instagram workouts as your workouts to help you see the results you want, where it's constantly like, okay, it's Monday. What workout do I want to find on Instagram today? Right? You want to have the repetition of the basics. You want to put in the time with the boring stuff in order to see results. Okay. And ideally, you want to stick to a program that is created well with periodization, with progressive overload over time. Stick to that program for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks before you change it up and move on to another program. Okay, that's how we do it in our coaching program. I just said the word program like a whole bunch at once. Anyway, hope that answers the question of, are combo exercises bad? Depends on the goal, okay? Next question. I have all the symptoms of thyroid issues, but my blood work comes back normal. My metabolism is slow. Is there something I can do or eat that will help? Okay, so really great question. Let me answer the last question first. So, is there something I can do or eat? Yes, there are things that you can do to naturally speed up your metabolism. I think I have, gosh, I don't know what episode it is. If you look back at my episodes in the last couple of months, I'm pretty sure I've got one that says, it's called like the metabolism masterclass, like how to speed up your metabolism naturally. It's pretty recent. So go scroll back and look for that. As far as things you can eat to speed up your metabolism, there is no magic food, but eating more will speed up your metabolism. Okay. So if you are chronically under eating, chronically in a deficit, chronically at low calories, your metabolism will be sluggish. Okay. So while there is no one or two magic foods, just eating higher calories in general will train your metabolism to burn through that. Okay. But let's talk about this whole thing with thyroid issues, feeling like you have those symptoms, but blood work is coming back normal. So what happens a lot of times is if you just go to your family doctor, your OBGYN, and I'm not speaking for all doctors. Some doctors are great and they do full extensive testing, but many doctors only test your TSH. So let me just give you, I do have an episode from the very beginning called like all about your thyroid or something. So go listen to that if this interests you, but just a quick version is our pituitary glands produce TSH. That stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. And what that does is that signals to our thyroid to produce thyroid hormone. Okay. So TSH is not your thyroid hormone. It is a stimulating hormone. It stimulates the thyroid to produce thyroid hormone. So we have a couple types of thyroid hormone in our body. We have free T4. We have T4, but that's an inactive form of thyroid hormone. So T4 has to convert into T3. T3 is that active form of thyroid in our body that stimulates our metabolism. Okay. We also have reverse T3. So sometimes T4 can be converted into reverse T3, and that's a stress hormone. We don't want that. We want most of our T4 converting into T3. You also should be looking at antibodies too to see if you have Hashimoto's as well. So you can see that just testing TSH doesn't really tell us much because your pituitary gland might be making an appropriate amount of TSH, but for whatever reason, maybe your thyroid is not producing enough T4. Maybe that T4 is not converting well to T3. Maybe you have antibodies that are showing that you have Hashimoto's. So oftentimes, if you just see TSH and your doctor says, nope, your TSH is good, so your thyroid is working well. Like, hopefully you can see how that's not the whole picture. You can get full testing, you can do it online. You can go to Life Extension. They have just a thyroid standalone panel. You can ask your doctor if he can do more tests. They might say, no, it's not warranted. I would suggest talking to a different doctor if that's the case. But you do need to look at all those tests, okay? TSH, T4, free T3, reverse T3, antibodies, a full panel, okay? If you do feel like you have a slow metabolism and you wonder if it could be thyroid related, there's no harm. And one of my favorite supplements from New Ethics is ThyroBoost Plus. It actually has thyroid glandulars in it. They're active thyroid glandulars, but it's not enough to be a prescription. Okay. So I love it because anyone can take it. It's just at newethics.com. You can use code trainer Lindsay to save, I think 10 or 15% on that. So check it out. I take 2 every single morning, and I know it gives my thyroid a boost because I've done labs after taking it and labs after not taking it. And it puts me up about 0.5. So ideally you want your free T3 to be between a 3 and a 4. I generally sit low to mid 2s. And so when I'm taking this, I'm up right around a 3. So I love it. Yeah. And that's something that anyone can do. It's not strong enough to like make you hyperthyroid. I mean, I guess unless you're already hyperthyroid, but if you're feeling like you're hypo, then I think you could totally take it. Next question. Is it possible to lose weight eating about 1,900 calories a day as long as I'm burning more than that and staying consistent? Yeah, absolutely. As long as you're for sure burning more than that. So you say as long as I'm burning more than that, but I would ask, how do you know? Our watches, our phones, none of that's accurate. The treadmill at the gym, none of that is accurate in telling you how much you burn. Really, the only way to know if you're in a calorie deficit is if you're being consistent, like you said, and if you're seeing results. Okay. So if you're eating 1,900 calories and your goal is weight loss and you are losing weight, then perfect. Keep doing it. But if you're not losing weight, then I would assume you're probably not in a calorie deficit, even if all your devices say you're burning more than that. My watch tells me I burn about 2,500 calories a day. If I ate 2,500 calories a day, I would gain weight pretty darn quickly. My maintenance is at about 1,900, 2,000. Okay. So yeah. So I would ask you, how do you know that you're burning more than that? If you're only burning like 100 to 200 calories more than that 1,900, you're probably not going to see huge changes very quickly. That's more like a slow body recomp that, yeah, you'll see. That's like you're eating close to maintenance, and you'll see slow body recomposition over time, like over a year or so, but you're not going to see results very quickly. So if that's the case, you're not seeing results or they're very, very slow, I would question if you're in enough of a calorie deficit, and I would probably drop them. I'm not sure. It's not very common for women to see great weight loss at 1,900 calories. Have I seen it before? Yes. Have some of our clients done that before? Absolutely. It's just not common. So that's all I'll say. Last question here is, what is your favorite grab and go quick breakfast? I'm losing motivation and never leave enough time in the mornings. Okay, so I just have a couple ideas here. Going into summer right now, I'm not wanting like cooked things. It's just me. I'm not really wanting like bowls of oatmeal and stuff like that. I am loving like berries on Greek yogurt. I just take plain, you could do flavored. I just take plain fat-free Greek yogurt, put a couple packets of stevia in there and top with a whole bunch of berries. And then I'll even add like 3 to 4 grams of mini chocolate chips, just a tiny amount. So good. If you want something super quick, you can hard boil some eggs in advance on the weekends and just grab like a piece of fruit, a banana, and some hard boiled eggs. Of course, a transform shake is super, super quick. You don't even have to make a smoothie with it. You can just shake it up and go. I'm loving my Healthy on the Go bars. I'll link those in the show notes, you guys. I'll link that and the ThyroBoost Plus and the transform shakes, just so you have those handy. But Healthy on the Go bars, oh my gosh, they're so good, you guys. They're like G2G bars. They're whole food based. They've got like nuts, seeds, some protein in there, some raisins. Like there's some of them are chewy. Some of them have big chocolate chips on them. They're so good. So good for grab and go. You can also try overnight oats. Again, these are things that would need to be prepared in advance a little bit, but you can do them all on the weekends for the week. I like to do my overnight oats with equal parts oats, Greek yogurt, and almond milk. You can add protein powder because if you're doing like a third to a half cup of each of those, it's not going to be a ton of protein in that much Greek yogurt. So I'll usually add like a half a scoop of protein powder, top with some fruit. It's really good if you top with some frozen fruit and then you put it in the fridge and that frozen fruit kind of thaws and creates like a syrup over the top. Oh, it's so good. Some nuts, things like that. Super yummy. You can also make egg muffins like prepped in advance. So what I do with that is I blend up eggs, egg whites, and then I stir in like any chopped veggies like onions, peppers, some broccoli. And then I will cook up, if you want to cook up turkey bacon, turkey sausage, and chop it up and stir that in, then just pour it into muffin tins and top with a little bit of cheese on each one. I don't know. I don't ever pay attention to, I think you'll bake it at 350. I'm trying to think of how long. Probably like I would check it after 15 minutes. Basically, you're just going to insert a toothpick into it and just make sure it's cooked through is all. And you can keep those in the fridge. Super, super easy. Pair it with a carb like a fruit, slice of toast, and it's totally grab and go. So hopefully that gave you a couple ideas there for things that you could, prep in advance and then they're just ready. So if you know you don't have enough time in the mornings, you got to do something different, right? You got to either buy something you can just throw together really quick or prep in advance, right? So hopefully that gave you some great ideas. So yeah, those are our 4 questions for the day, you guys. Hope you enjoyed that little Q&A session. Shoot me more questions. I love doing these episodes every once in a while. So shoot me questions on social. I'm happy to answer them on the podcast to give like more of a detailed explanation than I can just do over DM. But hope that was enjoyable to you guys. And I will see you guys next week.